so kind of from my perspective and probably the Riddler's perspective, Gotham is basically a failed state. It can't it cannot ensure law and order. So where exactly did the Riddler go wrong? What did he get right and what did he get wrong?
Well, so, and that's kind of the big twist. This is the big spoiler of the show, is he wasn't going after Batman, right? He wasn't the villain going after the hero. He thought Batman was on his side, right? So that's kind of where I got my take of, he is the comic book movie fan and he thinks he is the hero saving the world. Uh, and then, but yeah, that's kind of all
Where
I
is he
want.
wrong though? Where is he not? Because his
So, I mean, I think the fundamental question that he gets wrong is he thinks Batman's smarter than he is. Basically, I don't think that he's assuming Batman's on his side. I think that, and there's a reason why the movie opens with Batman dealing with like a mugging and like some kids playing the knockout game, some white kids playing the knockout game. Let's be clear, and and the reason behind that is his whole journey is to wake up to like, this isn't about street crime. This isn't about like muggings. And I think what the Riddler is doing is not like, hey, I assume Batman's on my side. I think he's like, hey, Batman, let's point you and your talents in the direction of the actual problem. And what he gets wrong about Batman is that Batman's basically a dummy, and he's like, well, what if we just help first responders and vote for the Democrat?
Which she's kind of an interest. The politician is kind of an interesting creation because she's we the only real policy position we get from her during that debate, or policy indication. She's
tough
like
on crime.
Yeah, she's tough on crime. She's like the law and order candidate, but she's also like the Democrat. So sometimes movies do that. They kind of
and then her other policy position is that Bruce Wayne should be giving her more of his money.
Yeah,
because the $1 billion wasn't enough that his father gave, right?
Right, to the renewal fund that everybody knows isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
So the answer is more money.
Right.
The one thing I do think Bella Real is a dumb character, but it was almost like too on the nose that like she's real, she's real, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so how could it not be intentional? You know,
that's my unreliable filmmaker.
Yeah,
he's like, look how freaking stupid this thing is. Look how just dumb this is.
I know there's so that word, there's real, but there's also like royal, right? I don't speak Spanish, but doesn't that mean royal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that some sort of foreshadow? Does she want to be like? Is she a tyrant?
I don't know if she's from the comic books or anything. I
think she's a new creation. I'm just wondering if it's like an indication that she wants monarchical power over Gotham or something. Anyway, any more thoughts on the Riddler though? Because I'm kind of being obtuse here on purpose, but like
they blow him up and they make him look stupid and crazy in the end, but he's clearly like, and Batman's all like, oh, we're gonna. It's so funny. They like perp walk Carmine Falcone,
and
Falcone's like laughing about this, that he's being perp walked. And I thought they were going to go in a really interesting direction, which is like, okay, but I own the DA and I own the police, and I like, who are you perp walking me in the direction of?
Mm-hmm.
And instead he's like, you think you can scare me? And I was like what? No, I think that was written differently originally, because there's a much more interesting point to be made in that scene, which is like, this whole thing you're trying to do is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So if I might just say one thing about the Riddler, which I think maybe has already been said, is that like clearly he's correct, right? Like Dr. Bennett said, he's going after the people that if you want to fix the city, you have to go after the high level, corruption. And where he's wrong is that he kept reading the script, which then betrays him at the end of the movie by turning him into a moron that doesn't follow his own justification for things. He's a great character until he blows up the seawall. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to me, I mean, up until he drives the car into the funeral, potentially, running over people, innocents. Up until that point, he's literally done nothing wrong. I mean,
the rats in the eyes, no problem with that.
Well, he's working judicially, but like I say, it's a failed state. Like, what is he supposed to do? He can't report anything to anyone. Nothing could possibly be done.
Right.
Well, and isn't that somewhat intentional though? Because that's what the Batman's calculation is what makes me different than the Riddler, right? And
Yeah.
the idea is the Riddler thinks he is on the same side as the Batman. So.
Whoa, but I mean, they should be. Like, they're not on the same side because Batman's dumb. They're not. It's not that they're not on the same side because the Riddler's evil. They're not on the same side because Batman's stupid.
Yeah.
Should Batman have made an appeal to the Riddler and said, "I like where you're going, brother, but some of these methods are not quite right."
Yeah, I mean, like, it's theatrical. I guess I'm sort of outing myself as a deranged incel extremist.
We already knew this though.
But yeah, I just didn't. I didn't feel the least bit bad about all these friggin', kid toucher weirdos getting theirs. And that's like there's QAnon footprints all over this. I mean, it's clear fingerprints. It's supposed to be QAnon. It's supposed to be Epstein, and even like the like vehicular manslaughter angle. Like, there's clear, like, it's a very topical movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think. Basically, and the point about a failed state is really what all this hinges on. Like, okay, the Riddler's method of solving this problem, you don't like it. What is your answer? What is your solution? And they don't come up with one, like, at all.
Mm-hmm.
Except to like help firefighters.
Well, yeah, that's exactly their solution. Vote for the right people, become a firefighter.
Well, and I guess I'm coming at it from kind of just, this is a Batman movie, so the Riddler's the bad guy, like, that's just a given. And so, but what they did with that is, okay, we're gonna have the Riddler be the bad guy. Why is he riddling? Number one, like, why would he riddle? And then
because he hid away from the cruelty of the world in riddles.
Yeah, and then why would Batman, like, why would he be interested in fighting Batman? And so, like, yeah, I feel like it was a kind of interesting twist on that. But I guess, yeah, if you want to go Riddler mode on all the politicians, I guess then yeah, this it's kind of a disappointing ending to the character.
Well, he lives to see another day. I think he can be rehabilitated.
Because I think the drama is what makes Batman better than a villain, I guess, right?
Well, so they're both vigilantes, and they're both orphans.
They both wear masks.
Yes. One was just, I guess, really inspired by the Zodiac Killer. And
one guy was rich.
Yeah.
And what makes him better is no guns.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah, in canon, there's no guns. That's not always true.
There's a point in every young orphan's life where they either pick up a book about the Zodiac Killer or they inherit $1 billion.
Oh my gosh.
And he was very intentionally modeled after Zodiac, like the glasses,
Clearly.
the
Ciphers.
ciphers.
Hood,
Yeah,
even.
The thing that makes the Riddler not very smart, though, is the pictures that get released of people going into the club were taken directly from his window.
yeah.
And if I were a detective, maybe I would have tried to triangulate who was taking the picture. You know,
Well,
seems like a pretty easy thing to do.
that's actually one of